And that's where policy deployment comes in. So what is PD? Well, first of all, it's a leadership process. It makes sense that if we standardize the way things are done on the shop floor or in the office, we can also get some of those same benefits when we use a systematic method when leading an organization. And one of the primary things that the process of policy deployment delivers is turning a sometimes vague strategy, the what, into a very specific set of actions, the how. But the key to these actions is that they can't be one-hit wonders. They have to result in sustainable processes that lead to a new way of doing business. But policy deployment goes further than that. It takes those actions and breaks them down into specific things for people throughout the organization to do. So no matter what level of the organization you are or what your function is, you'll know exactly how your tasks contribute to the company achieving its strategy. I would like to make one point about this image of the waterfall, though. It has one major shortcoming. Waterfalls only flow in one direction. But in policy deployment, the information also flows upstream. So what ends up happening with policy deployment is that it becomes something of a compass and a map all rolled into one. So as the year progresses and unforeseen problems come up, you can bounce them against your policy deployment and have a bearing to your true north for the company. Let's talk now about the benefits of using policy deployment. One of the biggest things that an organization gets from policy deployment is the alignment of its efforts. That's not to say that everybody will always be working on the same things together, but because of the systematic communication, you will be very unlikely to come across competing agendas, and in most cases the goals will be complementary. And keep in mind that this alignment is not just vertical, it's also horizontal. Policy deployment drives a great deal of cross-functional cooperation. Another big benefit of policy deployment is that it creates buy-in. And one of the ways it does this is by making goals appear achievable. When you break big goals into manageable chunks, people are much less likely to feel overwhelmed. Of course, breaking things apart only works if you can put them back together. The structured approach of policy deployment will give you confidence that completing all of the frontline action plans will mean that the company will hit all of its top-level goals. These next three benefits are all closely related. Of course, the communication that policy deployment requires is a benefit in and of itself. But it also does two things. It provides a channel to talk about the allocation of resources, to make sure that they're distributed fairly and that people are not overloaded. And that fairness, that sense of everybody contributing evenly to the goals of the company, creates a much stronger commitment to the strategy. It creates a much more robust buy-in from people all across the organization. And finally, you will find that policy deployment begins to act as something of a filter. Obviously, you have to do the things that are on your action plans. But just as importantly, you'll find yourself avoiding the things that are not on your policy deployment matrix. This will keep you from getting spread too thin throughout the year, and it will help you avoid getting distracted by minor things.